Hello, all Hoosier fans, Hoosier haters, and everyone in between. This is the Crimson Coliseum podcast. And on today's episode, I got Greg and Jack back for one more football episode because we are officially 6 days away from the first home game of the season and the opener of the new Kurt Ignetti era. And on
Woo!
today's episode, we're going to be uh, talking of just predicting the Big Ten season because there are now 18 teams in this conference. Lord help us all. But
Oh
it
gosh.
so many teams. There's four new squads added. We're gonna just predict where we think everything's gonna line up. So first with Greg, uh, just give us what you think is gonna how the Big Ten's gonna shape up.
Yeah. Okay. I'm based and I hate Ryan Day. So it's gonna be Oregon at 12-0, 9-0, and then Ohio State at 11-1 and 8-1. And the loss is gonna be Oregon. I think that because Ohio State, like when they brought in Will Howard's more of like I think of him more like a Kyle McCord than I do like a CJ Stroud. He even said like in an interview or like a direct quote from him where it's like, "Oh, I don't need to always be a playmaker and stuff," which like it's good to like go in with, but like can he be a playmaker then? I know Kansas State
Yeah.
was good, but when they bring in Avery Johnson, I think was his name,
Yeah, that's
the
him.
long hair legend, like, and that makes Will Howard go away to Ohio State. That doesn't sound very like competitive. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think Will Howard's like somewhere in between.
McCord and
I think,
CJ.
yeah, I think he is going to be better than Kyle McCord. I think he's going to get Ohio State results, but I don't know if Will Howard is going to be able to take Ohio State to a national championship.
yeah.
That's
I
what I
think
I
that
mean.
don't
That
yeah,
believe. I don't believe that.
that's how they get
it,
the other 11 wins though. Like Will Howard could probably
Yes.
get him to beat Penn State. I don't think they're gonna beat Oregon with it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I
um
could see that.
Yeah. I'll go
and
in a
then
little
I
bit more whenever I talk about it. But Ohio State probably is gonna need a second threat, and obviously they have a good running game, but but the quarterback position needs to be keep the defense honest. So yeah, you can keep going.
I got Benjamin State 11-1. Uh I think I put the loss to Ohio State. I
Hmm.
got Iowa at 10-2, 7-2 in conference. I would have done 11-1, but they play Ohio State, which they lose. And then I have a certified bona fide Cade McNamara moment where they are in a close game and they totally lose because Cade can't throw the ball forward, just like last year before he got injured. And then they lose to Nebraska because of it. And then I got Michigan at 9-3. I think I had them lose to Texas, Ohio State, and oh shoot. Oh, I almost closed the whole tab. I just had all my stuff in. Who do I have them? Oh yeah, Ohio State, Oregon, and Texas. Yeah. All right. And then for the lower ones that kind of just beat up on each other, I got Rutgers next. I think Michigan will be the better team, but Rutgers is gonna physically do better because their schedule is easier. They're gonna go 10-2, and then 8-1 in conference. Then I got Nebraska 9-3, Indiana 9-win Indiana.
We are
Oh,
here for it.
thank
We're here
goodness.
for
I
nine with
wish. I
Indiana.
wish.
Yeah, not hey, boy, you better stop wishing and start
Wildest
believing.
dreams.
Gotta believe
Nine
in the
and
Kurt Ignetti
three.
era.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
stagnation, baby.
They definitely like that. That's probably one of the best cases like 10-2. 11-1 at
Yeah,
Michigan's bad, but 9-3 is a more realistic ceiling because they lose to Nebraska, Michigan, and Ohio State. Um, and then I got USC. They'll actually be like, I think they'll be better than us and Nebraska because of what's his name, Miller Moss, right?
Miller Moss is pretty good. Yeah.
I think he's pretty good. I just think the defense will improve, but not enough to like get them to like double digits. Um, but yeah, they have a harder schedule too. and then I got Wisconsin at 7-5, Maryland at 6-6, Washington at 5-7. They fell off plus ratio after the runner-up championship run last year. They lost like I think all but three starters or so from that championship game. The defense is like mid. The quarterback and the wide receivers are good, but the O line is bad. And I think if you have like a bad O line, you are just cooked. And then I got Michigan State at 5-7. They're pretty bad, except for their quarterback and like one wide receiver. And I got Minnesota. These bottom few teams, IU doesn't play except UCLA, so I don't know the most about it. I just want to like say that.
Oh yeah, Purdue too.
Huh?
Purdue too.
Oh yeah. Sorry. I got Minnesota, and then I got Northwestern. Oh, sorry, Minnesota, Northwestern, both at 4-8, 2-7. Illinois, UCLA, and then Purdue. So, I actually think some of these teams will be better than each other. Like, I think UCLA will be better than Illinois and Northwestern, but because of their schedule, they're like so much lower. UCLA's schedule is horrible. I think Purdue will just be dead last though because they suck and their schedule is actual murder on
It's
TV.
awful. Yeah,
Dude,
they play.
they play
Who do
Notre
they
Dame.
play?
They play Oregon. They play
They play
Oregon
Ohio
State.
State.
They play Ohio State.
They play Wisconsin.
Don't they play Iowa?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, my bad.
But yeah, they play, and like it feels like all their like winnable games are like on the road too. I
Yeah,
feel
like
like
they're coming to us. Here, I'll just
stink. Like
read it real
like
quick.
yeah, I'm gonna look up Purdue's football schedule.
I got it. So they're coming to us. That's a winnable game. They're going to Illinois, which is a winnable game. They're going to Michigan State, which is also a winnable game. But then every other game that is like the hard ones are at home. Oregon's at home, Penn State's at home. They have Northwestern at home, which they could win.
They could win that
They
one.
could
They
win
Yeah,
that
could
one,
that
win.
is
yeah.
that is that
Yeah.
is that is probably their most winnable game.
I think if
Yeah,
they
in
do get a Big
conference.
Ten win, it'll be that one. It'll be
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
one for
Well, that
sure.
one or Illinois. I think they could beat Illinois on the road. That's yeah.
I
But
One thing that always gets interesting with Purdue is there's two different types of Purdue. There's Purdue Boilermakers and then the Spoilermakers. Like
That's valid.
I would not be shocked if they get a win on Notre Dame or Notre Dame at home or something like that because they just have this effect on people where
Don't you say Penn State at home.
no,
like
they're not gonna beat Penn State.
That's not
No,
that's not
no,
gonna
no, no, no,
happen.
no, no.
No.
it might be the crappy weather in West Lafayette that gets teams much less prepared for a game or something. I don't know.
You say that
But
like it
Yeah.
doesn't happen here.
okay, compare the weather to Bloomington and West Lafayette.
I've never been there actually.
Oh, oh yeah, you didn't go for the. Oh yeah, it is not
Yeah, I
fun.
don't go.
It is not fun. I call it the
uh,
Seattle of the Midwest for a reason.
Don't you do Seattle like that? Oh my gosh.
What? They have
but
one tall structure and the weather is muggy at best.
Yeah, I like Seattle though.
That's fair.
It's fine. It's
but
fine.
that's what I got for my guys. I think the Big Ten champion is gonna be Oregon. I like the Ducks. Dan Lanning is cool.
Quack quack.
Yep.
All
All
right,
right,
Jack.
time for me to get in the mine.
Yeah,
All
get
right.
into yours.
So I got Ohio State going 12-0, 9-0, mainly because I think that Oregon might struggle in the Big Ten in its first year, mainly because I don't know if like they're going to adjust. I mean, the Big Ten's is much more physical than the Pac-12 is. I think that could be a point. That could be something.
Mhm.
That could be a reason for Oregon maybe to not do as well as people expect. I still think Oregon's going to be really good, but I got Ohio State winning that game against Oregon, and I have them winning every other game. I've got Penn State at second going 11-1, only losses to Ohio State.
Jack, would you like to
And
tell
then,
everyone where you're from?
I mean, I'm from Pennsylvania. Sure, sure,
I
sure.
mean,
Whatever.
we all have like Penn State in our top three, anyways. It's just a matter of
Yeah,
semantics.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just, I
yeah.
just, I just got the only reason I've got Penn State second is because I got Oregon losing twice.
I'm just messing with you. You're good.
Yeah,
Like, no, I know. I
he's
got, I got
he,
Oregon. What?
he's a believer in the Tom Allen defense.
I
Oh my
believe it
gosh.
too.
Yeah,
I think well, Penn State's defense is just going to be good regardless of who's coaching it, I think, because there's the talent that they got. But anyway, um, I got Oregon in third. I got them losing 2 games to Ohio State, and I got them losing to Michigan on the road in the big house. Like, I think that's going to be a really tough game for them, and I think that Oregon's going to drop that one. I just got a feeling. And then I got Michigan at 9-3, 7-2 and fourth. And then I got Nebraska at 9-3 as well, which is I think is really interesting. I think Nebraska, this is going to be the year that they finally break through and like make something of the expectations that have been put upon them. And like looking at their schedule, like they've got a couple of tough games. Like I think Iowa, that big rivalry game towards the end, is going to be a huge game in could determine like maybe there's a slight chance that could determine like a college football playoff spot. Probably not, but still think regardless in terms of like bowl game placement, that'll be a really important game. And then I got Iowa at 9-3, and then I got USC in seventh at 7-5.
Ooh,
Their non-conference schedule is just absolutely brutal. Like
yeah,
I've got them
they.
going 6-3 in the Big Ten, but then I've got them going 1-2 non-conference because they play LSU
LSU and Notre Dame at the
and
end.
Notre Dame, which is, I mean, they play Notre Dame every year, but just adding that LSU game is just,
Who's
I
the
don't see
other?
how they win that game.
Who's the
I
third
think
non-con?
for UCLA, I think it's Utah State, which they
That
should
yeah,
win.
that's what it was. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
yeah,
they
yeah, yeah,
They they
yeah. They
should
should win
win
that.
that game pretty easily, but yeah, I think that USC is going to they have a really tough schedule, and that's the only reason why I have them going 7-5. I think they're a good team. I just think their schedule is absolutely awful. Same with Wisconsin too. Like I got them down at 7-5 as well. Like, but I got them going 5-4 in non-conference play. Who schedules out? Which Power Four team willingly schedules Alabama out of conference? Like, I'm sorry, but
Which big, like, what?
like,
we will
why did they
next
do
year.
that? Especially like, I get if you're a team like Michigan, Texas is going to be really, really fun because both teams are going to be pretty good. But Wisconsin scheduling Alabama out of conference, and maybe they did it a couple years ago when Wisconsin was pretty good. But like that's just
Usually that's scheduled like
why
probably a near decade in advance because I think we have a home and home series with Notre Dame in
Notre Dame.
2030.
Yeah, we
Yeah, but
do.
that one's
So
gonna be fun because that's like a regional rivalry.
yeah,
But Wisconsin, Alabama, I don't know. I think that's anyway. I just saw that and I was like, I
yeah,
gotta talk about it.
yeah. That's
And
just
then
weird.
going back up, I got Rutgers going 8-4. I think they've got a pretty easy schedule, and I think they're a good team as well. Like I think they could potentially do better than 8-4. Um, I got Washington going 8-4. I know there's a lot of haters about UW, but I like what their new head coach. I think what Jed Fish, I think is his
Jed
name.
Fish from Arizona. Yeah.
Jed Fish from Arizona. I like what he's done at Arizona. He's brought some good guys with him. I'm kind of, I think that they could potentially surprise some people, maybe. I think they'll lose to Michigan in the national championship game rematch, obviously, but I do think that potentially they could do better than what a lot of people think they're going to do. Because like looking at their schedule, like I think they'll win the Apple Cup against Washington State. I think they could beat Northwestern, Rutgers. I think they beat IU. Hate to say it. And then
Ooh.
USC might be the toss-up game there. Like they could win, they could lose. I have them winning. I think it's because I UCLA, but they lose the rest. Um, not losing a ton of games personally, and maybe I'm wrong. I don't. Maybe just the hangover from last year, like still clouding my judgment. But I think they could. I think they could go 8-4, and then Wisconsin 7-5, like I said at 10th, and then I got Maryland going 7-5, and then I got Michigan State going 5-7 in 12th, and I got Indiana going 6-6. I think that Indiana could make a bowl game. Like I know I said last time I don't think we will, but I think we win that UCLA game, which I think is going to be a really important game because I think that could be the game that like determines whether we make a bowl game or not. And then I think we beat FIU, Western Illinois, UCLA, Charlotte, Northwestern, and then we go on like a 5-game losing streak towards the end because it's a bunch of bunch of tough opponents. And then we got Purdue at the end that I think we win. And then to round out the Big Ten, I got Illinois at 5-7, Minnesota at 4-8, Northwestern at 3-9, and then I got UCLA and Purdue both going winless in the Big Ten.
Damn.
Yeah, and I was looking at bowl games and stuff before, and I think the Big Ten can have three teams in the college football playoff.
I think we will.
And if that's the case, I think we'll have 10 teams making bowl games, as it were, if you include the CFP.
Mhm.
So it'll be interesting to see that. But going on to my predictions, I've got Ohio State going undefeated. I like what they have. Ryan Day is finally going to get a win over Michigan, which, if he doesn't,
He's
fun
fired.
fact,
He's
Tom
not
out.
getting fired.
No, fun
He's I
fact. Oh yeah, if he loses to Michigan, he will get fired probably.
No, 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 no.
I
No, this is the dumbest thing I've been hearing for forever. I'm gonna be angry
but if
real
he
quick.
can't win the game,
Dude, you really want to take the risk of like my frequently 11-1, 10-2 coach who loses a game. Oh yeah, he doesn't win a game. Get out. Let's go get a new guy and risk going 7-5 and 8-4. No, they're gonna keep Ryan Day. They're not gonna fire him even if he loses it this year. He's not getting fired even if he loses it. Now, if he loses like four, that's different. That's different.
Yeah. But if Michigan wins, Tom Allen still has a more recent win over Michigan than Ryan Day does.
that's crazy.
Because
What on earth?
we beat Michigan during the COVID year, and Michigan Ohio State never played each other. And then the Connor
What?
Stallion stuff happened, which yeah.
There's no way that Ohio State loses to Michigan this
Oh no,
year.
yeah,
I'm
no,
sorry.
no. I'm just
I
There's
saying,
don't
no
think they
way.
do.
yeah, hypothetically
There's no
speaking.
way.
Yeah, no, they
But
don't.
That's what I'm saying is if I that's why I'm saying that Ryan Day should get fired because it's in the shoe. Michigan is just worse than they were last year, and Ohio State is probably better than they were last year.
Okay, but we
And
said
Harbaugh is gone. So like I just think that if Ohio State finds a way to lose that game, you just really got to question coaching.
No, we said that 2 years ago though, when Michigan went to the shoe as well. Like obviously a little different because they had that run and everything, but they went from McNamara to McCarthy as the starter, and it was a lot more
Mhm,
different because they had
I
just
guess.
lost Hassan Haskins, that's his name,
Yeah.
and it was still different. And we said the same thing where it's like, oh, they're going to the shoe, they're cooked, and then they actually just not murdered, but like they kind
They
of ran
played
away
pretty
with it.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's true.
I think because Ryan Day has not beaten Michigan since 20 it's nearly 5 years since he's beaten Michigan. If he can't get it done, his seat's going to be pretty hot. That's all I'll say about that. But moving
Yeah.
on, I've got Oregon, Penn State, and Iowa all finishing 11-1.
Mm.
Um, I think Iowa does not make the college football playoff just simply because they're starting out like 25th in the AP poll, and I don't think they're going to be getting enough. Their schedule is pretty soft, and they're not going to get
Yeah.
enough good wins to really rise up those ranks to get to top 11.
The only like signature win I would say they could get is Ohio State.
Yeah,
If they
like
win that game, they could. If they win if they go 11-1 with that being one of their 11 wins, I could see it.
yes, but
Uh, if they beat Nebraska or Iowa State too, because Iowa State's a bit on the rise, and
yeah,
Nebraska, Raiola.
yeah, like I'd say like if
Yeah.
Iowa State has a really good year and Iowa beats them, then I think they could make it. But at this point in time, I think Iowa's going to be close. They're probably going to be 15th, 16th, but they're not going to fully get there. Then I've got Michigan at 10-2, which I think is their ceiling. Granted, with all these sanctions that are going to hit, they're probably not going to reach that 10-2 ceiling. But I think the book's going to get thrown at them hard.
Yeah.
But I could see Michigan going 10-2, losing to Ohio State and Oregon. Um, then you got USC and Indiana at 8-4. USC is going to have the better conference record. That's why I have them over that. I have USC over Indiana. I've got Rutgers at 7-5. I think Indiana beats Rutgers and gets above them, and then I think they beat Nebraska at home. At home, I think Indiana's 4 losses at Northwestern. I think something weird's going to happen with that. That is just a weird stadium that they're
That's
doing,
based.
and
Uh,
something bad's going to happen. Um,
really, I think
I
that's going to work in Indiana's favor.
could, but also
That's that's less of a that's less of a home field advantage.
Northwestern's pretty solid too, though. I think
That's true.
obviously Ohio State, Michigan, and then um, I can't remember who else they had, who I had them lose to. I think it might have been a home game or
Washington
I don't know if
or
it was
Michigan State.
it was probably Washington who I had them lose to.
Uh,
Um, but Indiana does play Rutgers. I think they beat Nebraska. The Nebraska's is also seven. Nebraska and Rutgers are 7-5. Indiana's 8-4. Northwestern I have it 6-6, and that's all the teams I think make a bowl game. Then got Wisconsin at 5-7, 3-6 in conference. Minnesota also at 5-7, but 2-7 in the conference. Obviously, Wisconsin, we know they're probably going to lose to Alabama.
Yeah, but who? I'm gonna pull that up real quick because I was a bit higher on them only because
Yeah.
of Luke Fickle and their new
Um,
starting quarterback who isn't Tanner Mordecai. It's some other. I
Van
forgot.
Dyke,
That's his name.
Tyler Van
Miami.
Dyke from
Miami. That's it.
Miami. Yeah.
yeah. I've got them losing to USC. So I've got the Western Michigan win, South Dakota win, Bama loss, uh, USC loss, Purdue win. I think they lose to Rutgers on the road. I think Northwestern's gonna have a really good home field advantage. I think I'm really high on Northwestern at home. Northwestern on the road, I'm not as high on. Um, what the?
Yeah, Ty.
Um, I think they lose to Penn State. That's one, two, three, four. Lose to Iowa, lose to Oregon, and then beat Nebraska and Wisconsin. Because I think Nebraska is gonna drop a game at home, and I think Wisconsin's gonna be that team.
I could see
Okay,
that.
that makes sense.
I mean, that's what I have. I
Yeah,
also have Nebraska beating Wisconsin. No, Wisconsin beating Nebraska.
yeah. Then I got Minnesota at 5-7, 2-7 in the conference. Washington at 4-8, Maryland at 4-8, Illinois at 4-8, Michigan State at 4-8. Got a lot of 4-8s. Uh, then UCLA at 2-10, and then Purdue at 1-11. And both those two are going to go winless.
I
But
just,
yeah, it's going to
yeah,
be very interesting.
I don't like UCLA's situation.
Yeah, but it's losing Chip Kelly and then
Like,
having that
it's
schedule
just,
thrown upon you is not great.
it just doesn't sound good. Like everything I've heard out of like UCLA's camp, out of what I've heard about UCLA's coach has just been bad.
Yeah, they're not going to. Yeah, I
Like,
still
it just
think
doesn't. You can
I
go.
still think that's going to be very important for IU to win, and that's going to probably going to be as much of a trap game as it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but UCLA's schedule is just rough. They just they play in the Rose Bowl, which is like so far from their campus. And
I
which
thought
like
it
is
was actually closer.
no, I
Or am I thinking
maybe
UC?
I can look it up. But like the big thing is I think Big Ten fans are gonna travel to the Rose
mm,
Bowl
yeah.
because of the historic like precedence that's there, because of like the fact that it's in Los Angeles and that just could be a nice vacation from the cold, brutal Midwest. But but I think that like UCLA is gonna have a rough time winning games both home and on the road this year. Like I think they'll just face stiff resistance everywhere they go. And yeah, I just don't see them winning any conference games this year.
Yeah, like um and just with how prominent the Rose Bowl is to the Big Ten, as it was back before the CFP, it was the place the best Big Ten team went to.
Hmm.
I
So,
think a lot of Big Ten teams, especially Big Ten fans, especially the ones that really couldn't get a chance to go to the Rose Bowl, like in Indiana, they're going to go drive in bunches to see their team play in the Rose Bowl.
mhm.
So
First
And
time
I
since,
60s.
yeah, I was gonna say
60s.
68, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
because and then I don't feel like we can go for this episode without like dogging on Purdue.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we can't. We
Like
can't
we
be
can't
we can't be respected Indiana podcasters without, talking about Purdue.
how
Woof.
bad Purdue is going to be. All right.
Woof.
So they, I don't think they beat Indiana State.
What?
Obviously, I think
Indiana State's gonna be their only win, I think.
Oh, I
I
thought you said
Indy.
I don't think. I'm like, no way.
No, no. I said, I think they'll beat Indiana State, obviously,
My bad, my
and
bad.
then and then they're just gonna lose every other game on their
Yeah,
schedule.
it's like
Like,
I respect the spoiler makers bit, but
Let's
this is not even gonna be this is not the I don't think
like
it's
well we were I think we
Notre
were
Dame.
weren't we
I don't
talking
know.
pre-podcast about their schedule a bit more? Because let's go through it real quick.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
they beat Indiana State at home. They have Notre Dame at home, which they lose, I think. Um, they play
I feel like
Oregon. Go
if
ahead,
there's
sorry.
gonna be a spoiler maker game, that's gonna be it.
I think it'd be the Oregon State one because of the new
Or
coach.
maybe that too.
Yeah, I'm usually high on the Pac-2, so
The
I
Pac two.
I like both Oregon State and Washington State, so I think that could be a win for Purdue, but it's on the road and
Yeah.
Yeah. If it was at home, then maybe I could see a win,
Yeah.
but
And then
it's
they
on the
play
road.
Nebraska, which they lose. They play at Wisconsin, which they lose. Here's the big one of the big ones. They play at Illinois, which they could probably win. I don't think they're
Hmm.
favored, but they could win it.
They could win.
That's got overtime written all over it for me. That is an overtime
Illinois,
game.
Purdue,
That is an overtime game that's gonna take
quadruple,
three
Eight
or four
overtimes. Let's
overtime.
five
go.
overtimes. Oh my
It's
gosh.
gonna be like 13 to 15. Like it's gonna go 3-3 going into overtime, and it's just
Oh
gonna
my
be extra
gosh.
2 point
Field goals,
conversion.
field goals, field goals. No. And
Uh,
then what? After that, they got
they have Oregon at
Oregon.
home.
Oregon is
GG.
rough.
Ohio State on the road.
No,
Northwestern, they could win.
yeah, they have Northwestern at home, which they could win.
They could win that. I've got Northwestern and like Indiana set as like their two important games because obviously the Oregon bucket is going to be, I think,
and
regardless, it's going
and
to be a good
Purdue
game.
and that game will always be good in my opinion. It will always be
Yeah.
a good game.
I think they could also Purdue, if they're doing well, could potentially beat Michigan State. But
Hmm.
like
I could see it. I could see it.
that's because I'm lower on Michigan State personally.
Hmm.
It's at Michigan State, but who does Michigan State play before that? It might be us. Oh, they play Illinois. Yeah,
Yeah.
if Michigan State lets their guard down with an easier Illinois game, then Purdue could sneak in and be like, "Hey," you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
But realistically, I just,
realistically, oh
I just
sorry,
don't know. I just
I
no,
don't
I
think
think
they,
actually I think their
they just
floor
don't
is
win
1 and
games.
11, and
Yeah.
I think their ceiling is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's say they get a surprise win against Notre Dame and or Oregon State. That's 6 and 6 as the ceiling.
Yeah.
yeah, it's like
And that's like I think their ceiling is more like 4 and 8.
yeah,
Like
it's
they got some really talent. I like Purdue is really interesting to me because they've got some like really talented individual pieces. Like they've got Dylan Tenneman, who's like one of the best safeties in the country.
Yeah.
And like Hudson Card, I think, isn't a awful quarterback. I think
He was
like
just
he's not awful.
he was just overrated last season to the point where everyone kind of thought he would take Purdue to the promised land, and then he didn't, and it was just kind of like, uh-oh, now what? And
Yeah.
like he'll be good. I mean, he's not gonna be like dog, but he's not gonna
Yeah.
be. I don't know. He's just not gonna be that good. So
And then like I just don't think Purdue's got like a team that's going to be able to compete.
I- they don't have a team.
Like they don't have like I said, they've got like individual pieces,
Oh,
but
they
like
don't have
their
playmakers, is what
overall,
you mean.
they don't have like an overall like they don't got the playmakers that they need to win games.
Got it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
like they don't got an overall like dynamic that's going to win.
this is going off subject real quick, but
That's fine.
Yeah,
one going looking at IU schedule, one home game that I wish the band would be brought to would be the Washington game, specifically for Smedley, specifically for him being the
yeah,
old,
for the Washington band to be there,
yeah, yeah, and then
that'd be funny.
have them recreate He Stole My Shaco.
You stole my Shaco. I just think it's funny that Smedley went to Washington. That's really, really funny.
Washington's cool though. Like
Yeah,
I
it
I
like
like
is.
them,
Washington.
so I'm kind of sad that they're gonna be like not bad, but not good, or at least that's what we think. So
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
they're gonna take a big step back a little bit.
yeah. No, I
Um,
could see it.
but I think we're all in agreement that we have like probably three teams in the Big Ten that make the college football playoff.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Like I
Um,
think
think it's gonna be Ohio State, Penn State, Oregon.
yeah, I agree.
yeah, I think we all agree those are the three. And then whatever order you have is whatever order you have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Um, I think I don't think they'll put four Big Ten teams in there. So
I don't think so, especially with the SEC.
Yeah, no, there's no way. I'm really
I
high on Ole Miss this year, so
I
I
mean,
think
Bama's a
if
lock.
any
If we
Bama,
Ooh,
if
Georgia,
if we have learned from past
Ole
precedents,
Miss,
Bama's a lock.
who else
I
in the
wouldn't say a
SEC could make
lock,
it?
especially because Nick's gone, so they don't have that that
But
thing that
Kalen
got them in
DeBoer,
last year.
I
No, okay,
still
Kalen is good, but look, the only reason they got in last year over Florida State. Now, this is before we found out Florida State was bad, aka losing to Georgia Tech. Um, but they had Nick Saban, and if you they want more views, more money, and if you can get Nick Saban in there and get more oh, Nick Saban, he's in the football playoff. Look at all these championships. There he is, his team playing. And then you
his
cut this
final
shot of him
year.
screaming at his team or whatever. That is going to be much better than Mike Norvell and Florida State getting absolutely dunked on by
Because they don't got
whoever.
Jordan Travis.
Yeah,
Jordan
when they don't
Travis,
have Jordan Travis.
Yeah.
that would have been. Can you
I was just
imagine
thinking
how
just because
bad
like
that would have been?
I
Oh
think
my
like most of the
gosh.
controversial additions into the college football playoff has been Bama.
I like
Yeah.
Bama, so I'm cool with it. But at the same time, I would like to see what would have happened if Florida State went in there. But I also really
We
liked
saw
The
we
Bama
saw
Michigan game.
we saw what happened whenever we
But
saw what happened in that bowl game. What happened?
They
I
blew up.
I don't think that's like because more people like held out of that game, right?
Yeah,
Like more Florida State players who wouldn't have skipped
Oh,
the
if
college
they,
football playoff, but that skipped that bowl game against Georgia.
y-
I
that's
think
fair.
it could
yeah,
have been better, but at the same time, I still think they would have gotten um
Yeah, it would not have been
their
fun.
butts
It would not have
kicked.
been.
But yeah,
yeah.
It would probably have been fun to watch for Michigan fans, but it would not have been fun to watch.
that was a
Yeah,
good game. Michigan Alabama ended up being a really good game, though.
I
I
was
remember being
actually
like,
hmm
I was mad at the ending. I did not dude, it is actually so annoying the amount their center, Alabama center, effed things up and would
yeah,
late snap or put the snap in too low, too high. And I would have liked to see a nice secondary breakup or something on the last play instead of Milrow just, push tush and dying.
push, touch, and
Yeah,
yeah, it was
it'll be
still a
fun.
really good
It'll be
game,
very
though.
fun to see this season. You guys got less than a week till your first game back.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh,
Did you guys hear about the changes to the walk?
Yeah. We
yeah,
actually went through it the other day, yesterday, actually.
yeah. We
How did you think about the changes? Because I like it personally.
The moving down.
Yeah,
Like I don't know. I like the more spread out look where that way you can see everyone. And this way we're just kind of in two really long lines, which is kind of annoying. But I do like how we are physically in the middle of them walking. So
yeah,
yeah.
and
that's true.
it's just a trombone preference. But whenever we go to play IOI, it's like the Susies are right next to us, and sometimes I feel like I'm about to fall off the curb there.
Okay, that makes sense.
So like not having to move there, that's gonna be very useful. That's gonna be very good. But one thing I will say is that it seems like Kurt Signetti is trying to help improve the fan experience.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I'll just say it anyways. Um we had to change the physical pregame
I remember last
because
year Gales was talking about doing that.
no. These were orders from Sig.
Oh,
Yeah, so what he said, I don't know about it directly, but Galis told us that Sig went to athletics and said, "Look, the pregame slow songs are not hype enough." So I won't say what they got rid of because you can see that in the first game, obviously. But Alex, you can think about what they got rid of probably in terms of slow songs. For example, and then they changed it with more hype songs.
Hmm.
So yeah. And it is a lot more upbeat. Like obviously,
I
and
like it.
Yeah.
I think the flow once we get it down is going to be really really cool.
Yeah.
I,
Um,
I miss the rush, Jack. I won't say what it is, but the rush of, like the thing, you
Yeah,
know what I mean? And
yeah,
then
yeah. I know
quickly
what you
going,
mean.
yeah, because when
yeah,
we,
yeah, yeah. I get, I
you,
know, I know. Yeah.
but Alex, you probably won't get this next one, Jack. I don't know what it's like for you once we, we're going down and then, we do that.
I just stay still.
I have to take like micro
I'm in the Sousa
steps.
I'm in the Sousaphone block, and I just go down whatever, and I get to mark time.
Oh, dude.
I get to stay still. It's
If
so
if
nice.
if if it's what I think it is, I've had varying levels of experience with going out of that.
No, no, it's a new thing, Alex. I'm talking,
Oh, oh,
Jack,
oh, oh.
I'm talking about the end with the, you know what I'm
Yeah, I
talking.
know.
Okay.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you were going. I thought you were talking about going into back home again.
No, 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 no.
I
It's
get to stay still during that one too.
brother, what?
Sousaphone
Oh
block
my
is so easy,
goodness.
man. It's so easy.
All
Well,
right.
but all right. Well, we'll wrap it up here.
With that,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Jack has an easy drill. So,
So
have a
easy.
great first week of school, which starts tomorrow. Have
Oh
a
my
great
gosh.
Greg. It's your final year.
yeah, thank God.
Thank God Greg
It
wants to
feels
get out
weird.
so
It feels weird that
bad.
I'm not down there with you guys though. It feels weird.
Yeah.
Well, not down there, up there because I'm in Nashville.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
I'll
miss you, bud.
definitely see you guys at homecoming.
Yeah.
And if anyone's watching this that wants to hop on the show, I am looking for people that to do the preview episodes for other things. Probably put it on the social media too that I'm looking for that. But I'll
We
see you
need
guys.
yappers.
We
We need
need
more
the yappers.
yappers. We need more yappers.
And just have a great rest of your day. And I'll see you guys in the next one, which is I think going to be Thursday because of scheduling conflicts. I've
Oh,
got
Oh,
scheduling
super
conflict.
early.
It's going to be Thursday. It'll be previewing the Florida International game with a new guy, which some of the band members will probably know a lot, others may not. But I'll see you guys in the next one.
See ya.